In a previous video, I did a review on these wall slat panels that I purchased and installed, and now that video is ranked #1 on YouTube for Are Wall Slat Panels Worth It? You can find that video here or here, I forget which side it pops out on, but in that video, a lot of you guys asked, Dan, can you please explain how this works here? And so that's what we're gonna do today. Huge shout out to my friend Mike Watt, who's a fellow YouTuber. He does these awesome interior setup videos, and I took a lot of inspiration from him for this. I'll break this video down into 3 parts: the wood, the LED lights, and cable management considerations. If you like this look and you want to support the channel, links to everything will be in the description below. Using them really helps this channel a lot. And if you like this video and leave a comment, it helps the algorithm push this video out more, which again, supports this channel. I really, really appreciate your help. Let's start with the wood. So for me, this is an office space, and because of that, I had to work with what I was given. And what I was given was these really nasty gray 6-inch wall trims. That extended all the way onto this wall as well. So behind this black wall here, this black wood lumber thing here, are those 6-inch tall plastic trims. And I knew that I wanted to cover that up. I wanted these wall slat panels to come down to the top of it and then cover it with this wood here. So because of that, I bought these 2x8 wood planks. Got this from local hardware store. For me, it was Home Depot. I immediately cut them down to size. So this wall is about 23 feet long. And then this part is probably the hardest part of this entire installation because you need a specific tool, and in order to use that tool, you need space, or you have to outsource it, which is what I had to do. Basically, this wood comes in totally squared like this. It would be a flat top on top and bottom. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to cut a 45-degree bevel on one side. And the reason for that is because what I wanted to do was when I put the LED light here, I wanted it to shoot onto the wall to give me more of an uplight, because if it was flat, like on this side, and I put the LED here, not only would it not kind of give you that uplighting dramatic effect kind of going up the wall, but it would also be right here on the flat side, visible for everyone to see as they walk by. Now, if I had to do it again, I would probably do less of an extreme angle, maybe a 30-degree angle. And the reason why is because right now, if the LED shoots up, it's kind of shooting right into the wall and then kind of dying. As you can see, the light doesn't really go up the wall. It kind of goes like into the bottom part. I think if it was 30 degrees, a little less dramatic, it would actually go up the wall a little bit more. After I had that beveled edge beveled, I'm a woodworking dummy, so I wanted this to be as quick and as lazy as possible. So I took a circular sander and I sanded this down really quickly. I sanded down all the blocks really quickly. And then I took a primer slash black spray paint all-in-one that's meant for wood, and I sprayed my wood down. Now, because this is for a backdrop and you're never gonna really get close to this, I can choose, I'm able to go the lazy route. However, if this is for your home, if this is for a wall that's gonna get a lot of eyeballs on it, you might wanna take a little bit more time here to not only sand this very well, but also to use a dedicated primer for the wood. And the reason for that is because you see in my splotch quick job here, you can see that it's very uneven. Like there are parts that are more matte, some parts that are shiny. And the reason why is because 1, I didn't sand well, and 2, because it's wood, just raw wood especially, just kind of absorbs color differently. So it's best to use a primer first to really saturate that wood and then put the color on top so it paints nice and evenly. So I'm just kind of giving tips and lessons learned for you guys. Hope this is helpful. Now we're gonna move into the LED section. The LED of choice here that I went with is the Govee M1 LEDs. And this decision matters a lot because the M1s are not cheap. For a 16.4 feet roll like this thing cost $100. And the reason why I went with this is for a couple reasons. The most important reason is because these M1 lights have, I believe, 60 LEDs per meter. And the reason why that matters a lot is because if you're using cheaper LED lights, they're gonna have a lot less LEDs per meter, and what that means is you're gonna get that dotted look, meaning that you're gonna see each LED kind of like in its own zone because they're not close together. Now there's a way to bypass this as if you diffuse the LED, but with this cut being pretty shallow, if I put a diffuser on this, I think it would extend above the edge here and you would see it, right? And I didn't want that look. So instead I went with a high quality LED that had a bunch of LEDs on it per meter. And as you can see, it looks really, really smooth. Like you can't see each individual LED light. There are a couple other reasons. Another one is because I wanted it to be able to control it with Google, so I didn't have to go over there and manually turn it on and off. Well, turn the studio lights to purple.
Sure, changing 2 lights to purple.
Another reason is because it's RGB IC. Now IC, the IC means individual color, which means that I can get each LED to be an individual color if I really wanted. Now I don't really do that for these videos, but I like having different color options for me for when I do like different videos and stuff. And then another reason was because this LED in particular makes it really easy to extend. This wall again is 23 feet long. This is 16 feet long. So I needed to buy 2 of these, and at the end you can open it up and you can easily plug in and extend the LED, and you can only do that one time. So maximum length can be 32.8 feet or something, which was more than enough. And then you can also cut that LED as well. So that's exactly what I did. Over here somewhere it's extended and I put it out there and then I cut it. So for all those reasons, I decided to go with an M1. Not all LED strips are extendable like that. You have to do some work in order to extend it. It worked really nicely. It was already done right out of the box. Govee is probably one of the world's leading brand for LEDs. They do an excellent job. Their stuff is really, really nice. I've actually got a Govee rope light over there, which initially I was planning on using here. Rope lights are basically a diffused light. They look beautiful. My wife asked me, why did you make a sperm on your wall? I thought it was a cool design, but I guess it does kind of look like a sperm. Anyway, so yeah, Govee is one of the world's leading brands for LEDs. Yeah, these guys are pretty awesome. You may not be able to see it from here. You kind of can. But if you get really close up to these LEDs, you'll see that this is not shoved up into the wall. And the reason for that is because if it were, well, first of all, my wall slat panels extend out, and so it would basically cover the LED, and the LED light would basically get snuffed out by the bottom. You wouldn't be able to see any light shoot up. So it's about 2 inches off of the wall. And then the other reason is because the further out it is from the wall, the more uplight you're gonna get onto your wall. That's something to consider because this might not be the most ideal setup for you if you're in a high traffic area to see this wall, like these lumber things kind of like separated out from your wall. Like I ideally thought that I'd be able to shove it into the wall, but that wasn't possible for my use case scenario. And finally, we come to cable management considerations. The one con, I think, of these M1 LEDs is that the controller for the LED, the physical button controller, is already hardwired onto the LED lights, and you literally get maybe 7 to 10 inches before it sticks off of there. That really sucks. Like I wish that it was like some LEDs you basically have where you get a long cable and then it's a female plug and then you can plug in the male and then you can extend it out. I wish it were like that because then you could hide it a little bit better. But because you can't, my physical button is on the sidewall over there. Now thankfully you can't see it in these videos, but it does make cable management a little bit more difficult. It also has a power brick, which makes the cable, again, the cable's a little harder to hide because the brick isn't really small. It's actually quite big because these LEDs are quite powerful. So I've got it set up over there. You might be able to, because after that physical button, the cable gets pretty long, you might be able to shove it back there somewhere and have it come up and maybe even hide it. If you have wall slats or something, hide it in between and make it climb up and plug it into an outlet here or something like that. For me, I have it off to the side, but that's something to consider if you decide to pick these LEDs up. For the amount of work that I put in, I think they came out really, really well. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Just keep in mind that I'm a woodworking dummy, so I might not be able to answer all of them. Links again to everything will be in the description below. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, stay honest.